income and social accounting. Everyone knows about national income. Yes, the total value of all the goods and services from all different sectors. That one is called the national income. And social accounting means what are the income we are getting from the social activities. That account is called the social account. National income also measured by the social accounting method. This one is leads to transaction among the various sectors such as firms, households and government etc. These are regarded and their interrelationship traced. The social accounting framework is very useful for our economists as well as the policy markets. The economy is divided into several sectors. The sector is group of individual or institutions having a common interrelated economic transaction. Our economy is divided into firms, households, government, rest of the world, at last the capital sector. What do you mean by firms? Firms is deals with the productive activities. Yes, the firms use all the factors of production, land, labor, capital and organization. The firm used all the factors of production to produce goods and services. That one is called the firms. The second one is the households. That means the consumer's point. Households consumes the goods and services which is the firms produced. The firms and households are interrelated to each other. The firms produced goods and services with the help of the factors of production, which one is a household provides. The household supply all the production factors of production to the firms. So automatically the firms and households interrelated to each other. Okay, the third one is the government sectors. What are the things undertake the government? All the economic activities. That one is called the government sectors. That means the economic activities known as the transaction of public bodies at all the levels like local, state and center, all the levels. The main functions of government is the social goods like defense, public health, education, etc. The public enterprises like post office and railways are separated from the government sectors. These are included as a firms. The next one, the fourth one is the rest of the world. This is known as the international economic transaction of the country. It contains income, export and import, all the transaction, external loans and allied overseas investment, income and payment. These are all the things coming under the rest of the world. And then capital sector. It refers to savings and investment activities. It deals with the bank, insurance corporation, financial houses and other agencies of the money market. But this capital sectors is not included under the firms. Okay, these five, the firms, households, government sectors, rest of the world, capital sectors, these are the coming under our economy. Economy is divided into these five. Okay, then national income of the welfare. National income is the indicator of our economy. Yes, whenever our national income increasing, that one is leads to increasing the per capita income. Per capita income increasing, automatically that one leads to increasing our standard of living. Whenever the national income decreasing compared to previous years, that one is leads to decreasing our per capita income, that one is leads to decreasing our standard of living. So this is the main indicator of our economy. In our economy, national income is otherwise is known as the GDP per capita and their annual growth rate. When the country with a higher per capita income is supposed to enjoy the greater economic welfare with a higher standard of living. Yes. Here, some of the limitations also there. Sometimes the national income increasing, but our national welfare is a question mark. See some of the reasons. First one is the economic welfare depends upon the composition of goods and services provided. Sometimes in our country, the capital goods over consumer goods. That one is the improvement in economic income, but economic welfare will be lesser. Here, the luxury goods only takes place. The luxury goods produced only for rich class people. So, national income increasing, but not at all increasing economic welfare. The second point, higher GDP leads to the environmental hazards such as the air, water and soil pollution. Whenever the national income increase more, that one because of using the more resources and machines. So this one is leads environmental hazards such as the air, water and soil pollution. Then the next one is the production of the war goods will show the increase in the national output but not a welfare. The fourth one, increase in per capita income may be due to the employment of women and children or forcing work for long hours. This one is leads to increasing more national income but not a national welfare. These are the important points to increasing the national income, not at all touch the national welfare. The national income and erosion of national wealth. For achieving the higher GDP, larger national resources are being damaged. That means reduction of potential for future growth. So we subtract the natural resources from our national income. These are the important limitations of national income. Social accounting. Now the next one is the national income in terms of US dollar. Compared to our money, US dollar is very high. When Indian national income is expressed in the term of US dollar, our farmers' level looks very low. In this situation, the purchasing power parity method is adopted. Then only the India looks better. The last one is a social and environmental cost. While the producing the economic goods, many environmental and social bads are also generated. These are the important limitations of national income and social accounting.